Good morning, everyone. So what we're going to do is one of the most requested videos is people ask me, what do I do with my empties? So one of the most popular things that I normally use and what I'm going to use for right now is we're going to take some of the empties. So I've got like a big box of empties that I just kind of use and I fill up, and I take my empties as I need them. So right now, the empties that I'm looking for are deep blue or peppermint, something that's going to help support soothing muscles, because I'm going to be using these empties and whatever oil might be left over, because I want really small amounts to be using for my pony. Right now, his hindquarters are a little tensed up, and this is great with whatever Epsom salts and whatever salt mixture that I'm going to be making. You can also use for yourself for a foot soak or for a nice bath, and this will be really nice either after like a long workout or a long day to just kind of come and soak into. So we're going to be looking for, I have one deep blue. I'm going to take a look to see if I have any more. I know I have a peppermint, and I know there are a couple in here. So we've got another one. So I know I'm going to take both of these deep blues, and that should be good enough for what I'm looking for. So what I have is I have a glass container. Always make sure if you are going to be using essential oils and making like a larger batch, I'm going to put it in the glass. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab some Epsom salts, pour the Epsom salts directly into here. So they're slightly bound up, so I'm just going to give it a couple knocks. And shake them up a bit. So I'm going to then open up the essential oil, and I'm actually going to take the lid, like the little insert, off of that, so that way it's able to get rid of all of those good oils that are kind of stuck inside. So even if I drop it out like that, you'll see that there is like a drop or two that's coming out. So what I'm going to do is in the bottom of the jar, I'm just kind of going to even fill it up with like a little bit of the salt in here. That way you're able to see, kind of get these going and get out all the goodness out of those oil bottles. Then I'm also going to use some mineral salts. So this is where you have your Himalayan pink salt, where it just adds those additional minerals in addition to your Epsom salts. And these ones are like a thicker, a coarser texture. So I just have a little bit of the bag left over, and that should be good because I just kind of want to do a smaller batch for him, so that way I'm able to use this up. I've opened up the second bottle, just tossing in that second bottle again. And this is where you can just kind of position the bottles like upside down, so that way they're able to take advantage of all of the good salts that are in here and just kind of dripper out. So I'm just going to keep pouring in here more of the Epsom salts. And then right now what I need is, I don't need much, like even a cup or two would be fine. But what you can do is I'm going to just let this soak in here for about an hour or two, because I do need to use it today for him. And then I'm just going to mix it with about half a cup to a cup with a big bucket of hot water. Let all of the salts kind of dissolve and emulsify in the water, and then from there I'm just going to kind of pour it over top and sponge it across his hindquarters and across his back. And this is where it'll be so nice and soothing, where he'll get the therapeutic benefits of the essential oils and also all the good minerals and the salts that are going to be added to it. So this is where you could like fill it all up, dump in all your empties, and it looks actually pretty with like empties in it, where you're able to see like, okay, I have these different bottles in it. You're able to kind of mix and match it. So just kind of give it a good stir, make sure that all of those get dissolved, and then always pop the lid back on it. So once you're done making it, fill it as much as you want. And this is nice to kind of just keep beside the bath, wherever you're going to be using your Epsom salts and your Himalayan pink salt. And you can add in more oil. So if you find that your empties aren't enough, but I can already aromatically smell this, I know that I have at least a couple drops, which is sufficient for the size of the pony for him right now and what we're trying to achieve. So this is where, make sure if you're using it for animals or if you're using it for your humans, pick and choose what you're wanting to do. So you can always add in extra drops if you wanted to add in lavender oil for animals, like for their coats, carrot seed oil, which is like a carrier oil as well as an essential oil. That one is a really nice one for helping with like the sheen and the shine of the coats. So that's like a great one to either add in or just kind of brush on afterwards. So I'm gonna leave this and then I'm gonna go ahead and head out in a bit to get this ready for him. So I hope you guys enjoy this DIY. If there are any oils that you have or any bottles that you have empty that you're kind of looking to figure out how do I use them, comment below and I would love to share with you some other tips. So On Guard is a great one to kind of just add into like a mouthwash or add it into a little bit of coconut oil and just kind of let the bottle soak in there. So one of the things that I like to do is if I'm going to be regifting or reusing some of the empties is what I'll do is I'll peel off the label from the bottle and then grab a drop of lemon essential oil and just kind of clean that up so that any of that sticky surface disappears and you get a beautiful surface to now basically use the bottles. What I also like to do is sometimes I'll take this dropper off and this stopper off and use a spray bottle. And with the spray bottles, I do have spray tops in my store, so I can link that below for you guys, where I'll usually just trim the bottom of the sprayer so that way it is at the right height to just hit a 5 ml or a 15 ml bottle. And that's where you're able to just kind of screw it on and use it as a spritzer. The other option is also if you are using, for example, On Guard, you can always add in other essential oils to make like a spice blend. So if you're looking for like a pumpkin spice, you can then add in additional clove or cinnamon or any of those warming spices to make like kind of a dropper blend of that combination. So that way when you're baking or when you're having a tea, it's nice to already have it pre-combined and then just adding in a drop of that oil in it. So reusing the bottles and maybe putting on a pretty label for that. I also have labels and templates for those. So I'll link those below for you as well. So that way you can grab those and they're all free to download. So again, any other requests that you have for videos, I would love to hear from you and we'll see you guys next week.